boom! I'm going to explode your brain, okay? Because this is something for those of us that work in sales, we have it totally wrong. Like if I said to you right now, what is networking in sales? You ought to close your eyes, think, what is networking in sales? Here's what you thought of. Because I lay in bed at night thinking about this stuff, and I can read your mind. You think of yourself at an event being like, hey, here's what I do. And the person going, great, I need that. Or, hey, here's what I do. And the person going, not interested if you have a negative idea of networking. Guess what? Your concept of networking is totally wrong. That's not networking at all. You being in an event, you being around people and going, hey, here's what I do. Or them saying, what do you do? And you saying, I do this. That's not sales. That's what I would call stand-up cold calling. You're not a stand-up cold caller, okay? Networking and stand-up cold calling are totally different. Here's the problem that we screwed up in sales that nobody talks about, but I do, Easton University does. Networking shouldn't be called networking. It should be called evangelizing. The concept of networking is not you stand up cold calling. What do you do? Let me tell you what I do. Well, hey, can I tell you what I do? The concept of networking is you telling somebody a story that they can visualize, that they can feel. And most importantly, they can take your story that you just told them out to their group of people, their network, if you will. That's why it was called networking. It's so that you can connect yourself to their networking, to their network. If they wanted to call it stand-up cold calling, they would have, okay? It's not about you having a singular conversation, a singular relationship with this person. That's stand-up cold calling. Networking is you telling them a story so they can evangelize. How the hell do we do that? Let me explain. When you guys are out and about, when you're at a hockey game, when you're at an event, okay, when you're sponsoring a table at something, or you're giving a talk to a local business group, right, or a chamber of commerce, you're not telling them what you do. When somebody asks you, what do you do? You're not telling them what you do. You're saying, hey, would it help if I gave you an idea of the kinds of things that we do? Like for me, when I'm networking in sales, I have people ask me at least 100 times a month because I'm out and about a lot. I give a lot of speeches. I'm at a lot of events. I give a lot of money away, right? When I'm out giving my money away at charity events and stuff, people always ask me, what do you do? I never say, oh, sales coaching. Because every single person goes, okay, great, see you later, bye. Thanks for being a platinum sponsor, right? Even if they're in sales, they're like, I don't need that. But when somebody says to me, what do you do? I say, would it help if I gave you an idea of the kinds of things I do? 100% track record. Everybody's always said, sure. Nobody has ever said, no, I don't want to hear about the kinds of things you do. So you know how in today's world, with the internet, with social media, with everything that's going on, a lot of companies, what they're finding is they're spending exponentially more on advertising, and individuals that are in sales, whether they're a real estate agent, whether they're a financial planner, whether they're in software, what they're finding is nobody wants to talk to them anymore, right? And a lot of people, unfortunately, have just given up on even reaching out and calling people. Here's what I do. I've discovered a better way. Sales has really changed because people have access to so much information than ever before. They don't want to take a call from somebody saying, if I could have 5 minutes of your time, I'd like to explain what we do, even if that person can help them. What I do is teach a really simple system so that individuals, organizations, and companies can get the right people's attention, start the right conversation in the right way, and really move deals into their pipeline and close them in a way that they never thought could be so easy. And typically, most of the people that learn my system double or triple their sales within about 30 to 60 days. When I tell that story, every single person, whether they're in sales or not, can feel that story. Every single person, whether they're in sales or not, knows what the heck I do because I've explained to them the kinds of things that I do at Easton University. And every single person that I network with, not stand up cold call, can then go on and go, yo, Tommy, your roofing company. Remember how you said you guys spent $40,000 last month on advertising? I got a guy in an orange jacket that you need to meet. It's not your people. It's not your pricing. It's not your advertising. You guys got the wrong sales process. Let me introduce you to this guy, because they've now become an Easton University, a Matt Easton, if you will, evangelist, because I told them a story. So when people tell you or ask you, what do? We can't explain what we do. We have to be able to say, would it help if I gave you an idea of the kinds of things that I do? Now, let's work on that right here, right now, for you. Let's create your story right here, right now, okay? So let's think about, let's say we're at an event, okay? Let's say, and I think it was Sean. Sean, are you doing the hockey thing? Who was doing the darn hockey thing, Chris?
Richard.
Richard. Okay, Richard's not here. Let's say Terry's out and about and somebody says to Terry, what do? I want Terry to be able to say, would it help if I gave you an idea of the kinds of things we do, right? And then, sure. Hey, so and this is where, guys, we need to come up with this on our own, but I'm just going to pull something out of my butt here. It shouldn't be, we help you lower your energy costs. We help you stabilize your energy costs. Nobody wants to hear that. And everybody goes, I'm good. Right? What a lot of businesses are dealing with right now is with everything that's going on with the economy, with everything that's going on with politics, with everything that's going on with rules and regulations, most businesses are out there with a whole new set of challenges that they've ever had before. And it is next to impossible to create a budget, to balance that budget, stick with that budget. And there's a lot of companies out there that are either A, struggling, or B, not able to invest the way they could and not able to get those resources. What I'm able to do is take something that every business has to pay for, and that is their energy. And what I'm able to do is come in, use some pretty sophisticated analysis, as well as some pretty high-level relationships, and create some stabilized, often cases lower costs, so that at the very least, these companies have at least one piece of their major expense portfolio that is stable, that is reliable, that they know where that's going, and they can then deploy those resources that they would either have to deploy because their energy rates went up, or keep in the bank because they don't know what their energy rates are going to do, and be able to grow their business, create a new initiative, hire some new people. It's actually pretty cool. We take something as not sexy as an energy bill, and at the end of the day, this is the kind of stuff that helps companies put that money into R&D, create a new product, hire new people, right? Just out of curiosity, with your company, how are you guys dealing with that, right? Now listen to that, and I just made that story up, but listen to how, now what are we talking about, right? Like if I'm talking to Brenda, now Brenda's like, holy crap, we have problems with our budgets all the time. And it's like, now, not only does she know about energy, but she knows that the energy is potentially unreliable, not in terms of the energy itself, right? The lights are always on. But the bill itself, she knows that if there's a problem with energy, she can come to me. But also, more importantly, if anybody has concerns about finances, if anybody has concerns about budgets, if anybody is looking for just a breath of air because they feel like they've been drowning, right? Every CFO should be introduced to me. But what I can't do if I'm talking to Brenda and Brenda goes, what do? Hey, I stabilize energy costs. I got the best connections in the world. Your CFO needs to talk to me. She's going to go, okay, thanks, bye. Right? And when somebody comes up to our booth at the hockey thing, there's Richard, we can't just go, hey, we help you stabilize energy. Right? What do you guys do? Would it help if I gave you an idea of the kinds of things we do? Right? A lot of companies right now, they're struggling. They don't know how to balance their budgets, and it's not their fault. The world has completely changed. Right? We've got labor unions that are renegotiating contracts on a very regular basis. We've got rules and regulations from the government that are coming in. We've got advertising cost has increased over 300% over the last 5 years. And the supply chain is difficult. I wish I could help with those things. Here's what I'm able to do. I'm able to take the one thing that nobody thinks about that is a major top line expense item and actually, in many cases, bring that down, but at the very least stabilize that, thus saving that company a lot of stress, a lot of heartache, and then giving them some resources as well as some time, energy, and effort back that they can redeploy into that business, right? How are you guys dealing with all the fluctuations in the marketplace? You guys should be talking about fluctuations in the marketplace, right? Marketplace, not energy. Why? Because if they're like, I can't hire people, we help with that. If they're like, my labor rate went up for my truck drivers 35%, we help with that. My advertising costs went up. Guess what, guys? Congratulations. You help with that. Because we're not trading seashells for fox skins anymore. We've invented this thing called money. It's a universal storage of power. If I can help Chris save or stabilize on his energy, that resource then can be redeployed to those other areas. It would behoove us as a team to learn about this company's problems holistically, not in energy, because they might say they're good with energy. I'm good with my family cell phone. You guys are going to kill me. My bill's, I think, $598. I am sure I am getting screwed on my family plan. I'm 100% sure I'm getting screwed. Okay, I don't have 19 kids. I have 2 kids. One of them, by the way, needs to get the hell off the family plan because she's 21 years old. Once she gets a new job, she's off the family plan. I pay $400 a month. Okay, how many times has somebody in a mall or this called me and been like, I can help you, I can help lower your phone bill, right? I'm not interested. That doesn't get me going, right? But if somebody was to call me and it's like, man, how are you keeping up with everything that's changed? Gosh, Chipotle's $17 for a burrito these days, right? And everything, God, the mortgage rates are going up. How are you dealing? God, it's a real problem, right? Every time I look, I got another bill that's high. Man, I wish I could help you with the mortgage. I wish I could get the cost of Chipotle down because I love some Chipotle myself. You know, here's one thing that nobody's thinking about in terms of their personal finances is their family cell phone plan, right? It's, a lot of times you can claw back another $150, and I know it's only $150, but that's the difference typically in what most people's mortgages have increased with all the insurance things. How are you dealing with that? Okay, you know, that's a real issue. Does it make sense for us to talk and see if I can get you back another $150? Now, this person is related to, by the way, my mortgage did go up $300. It's all freaking insurance because we had a fire in Colorado a year and a half ago. Now I get to pay an extra $300 a month. Fun for me, right? That's what gets me excited. Okay? And if they had just said, would it help if I gave you an idea of the kinds of things that I do instead of, hey, we're the #1 cell phone carrier and we lower your rates. I'm going to be like, okay, thanks. Or thanks for sponsoring the hockey today. You guys, we have to, networking is not stand-up cold calling. It's just that. It's storytelling. Does anybody want to spitball some ideas on how we can storytell? And before I let you open up, I'm going to give you another thing. I'm going to challenge all you guys right now as your coach. I'm putting out a challenge. I know there's one person on this call that's going to accept my challenge because he just likes challenges. I'm not going to say who he is, but he's wearing a baseball hat. Okay, so just figure it out. Out of all the people wearing the baseball hat on this thing, this guy's probably going to accept my challenge. Okay, and that is this. Not only do I want you to come up with a story, it doesn't need to be perfect, but I'm going to challenge you to think of some out-of-the-box ways that you can go out there and network, not stand up cold call. Maybe it's a chamber of commerce. Maybe it's a business meeting. I would call all of them in my area, right? Like if I'm in Manitoba or Montreal or wherever, I'm going to reach out to all those organizations and say, hey, my name's Matt. I'm with a very special division of Hudson Energy. I would love to come in and talk to your people. This is not a sales pitch. This literally has nothing to do with me trying to sell them anything. I just want to make the small, medium-sized, or large businesses, whatever it is, I just want to make sure that everybody's aware of something that's going on here. And that is they are getting beat to death on their budgets. I don't know why CFOs aren't just quitting their jobs en masse. They probably are. It's next to impossible in 2024 to balance a budget for a large corporation right now and to stay on that budget. 2025 is looking to be like a nightmare we've never experienced before. I would love to speak to the group. I'd love to give them some ideas. I'd love to share with them some thoughts on something that maybe they haven't thought about in a long time, and that's their energy bills and just some certain ways that even if they wanted to do this on their own, it might be worth them taking a look at, because it's not the sexiest thing in the world, but if they could claw back some resources or offset some potential increases that are just kind of lurking in the background, waiting to jump out and grab them when they're least thinking of it. I have a feeling if I could talk to your group for 15 or 20 minutes, again, it's not a sales pitch at all. I just want to make sure that they're aware of what's going on, put a couple ideas in their head. At least one or two of those people in that room, whether they do business with me or not, once we make them aware of this, are going to find some dollars that they can use to reinvest here in the community, that they can reinvest in hiring. And there's probably another one or two that are going to get ahead of a problem before it jumps out of that bush and grabs them, right? If I called, how many chambers of commerces or trade associations do I have to call with that speech right there to have one of them go, hey, you know what, Terry, that's actually kind of interesting. We have a breakfast coming up next Friday. Can you come on? We meet at Egg Escape every Friday. I'd love to have you be our speaker at the breakfast. That's networking, guys. And when you get up there, you're talking to them about, not about what you do. You're talking to them about the story, and that they probably haven't looked at this in a long time. They haven't probably talked to anybody about this in a long time. If they have talked to somebody, they've probably talked to the wrong person, right? And this is the kind of thing, this is the kind of conversation that nobody wants to have, because it's not sexy, it's not interesting, it doesn't have to deal with AI, right? But this is the kind of thing that powers, if you can claw back some dollars here, this is the kind of thing that gives you the time, energy, and resources to do the advertising, to do the AI, to put into R&D, to give back to your people in a bonus plan, right? Like, if you guys did this right now, if you guys could have 3 of these conversations a month with a large group of people, Chris, you've been in the game a long time. I think it's game over at that point. For that individual, it's game over. Or we can sit around and we can cry and say nobody wants to talk to us. Okay? I'm not saying don't make your cold calls. Please make your cold calls. Do them in a skillful way. But like Chris had asked last month, I want to talk about networking. This is networking. And networking is not stand-up cold calling. I'm not sure if it's for you, but if you work in sales and you absolutely positively have to double or triple the amount of money you're making in order to truly enjoy your life, click the link here. My name's Matt Easton. I'm the founder of Easton University. It's the most effective sales coaching in the world. Click the link here. Check it out. You're going to see we'll give you access to an on-demand learning portal that's going to give you video coaching with me on everything you need to know to double or triple your income, or even more. Everything from prospecting to closing to handling objections and complaints to building your personal network and self-confidence. But it doesn't stop there. Click the link here. You're going to see that when you get a membership to Easton University, you're also going to have the ability to do live coaching with me twice a week. You can ask me any questions. We can work through anything you're struggling with. I will be there with you every step of the way to help you double your income in sales right now. Click the link now. You're going to see we've helped thousands of people just like you, and we have the video testimonials from them to prove it. Easton University is more than a learning portal. It's more than live coaching with me. It's your future, and you and your future are worth it. Click the link now. I'll see you at Easton University.